How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Investing with Zeke. So, the next stock that I actually had to start buying, and the only reason is because everything in the US is just seems to be overvalued to me. So, I decided to build out a little bitty tiny little portion of Chinese stocks. Well, stock one. And I'm not going to go into deep into numbers on it. The stock is JD, ticker JD. It's an ADR, does pay a dividend. So you pretty much got to go off of what the numbers they tell you they are, and it's practically an IOU. However, I did some research. They have been paying their dividend for the last 12 months. That's a plus, so. And Warren Buffett, rest in peace, Charlie Munger. They were big proponents of China. They bought Tencent. JD is practically the Amazon of China. Why didn't I choose Alibaba? Now, the reason why I didn't choose Alibaba is because the government there likes to tap their pockets a lot. Also, sometimes the CEOs come up missing over there at Alibaba, so it doesn't seem like, a lot of people, the government, their government doesn't seem to like Alibaba as much as they like JD. JD only has like $50,000 in fines where they've hit Baba with like billions of dollars of fines. So I just think, and it's an innocent company. Alibaba, has, I think, rights and like mapping and stuff. So they don't really want that in the United States' hands. That's why you never know if they'd split up Alibaba or do something kind of shady with Alibaba. They already have. So that's why I went with JD. It's reputable. It's solid balance sheet from what they tell us. You're practically paying what the company makes. So you can't beat the value on a company like JD. I bought this company last week at like $21.60, I believe was my buy-in. Do I plan on increasing it? I don't know. But I do know one thing. If we have bigger issues with China, then we're in some serious issues. People are putting money into crypto, right? So why not? China, 50-50, if we repair our relationship with China, by chance, I don't know how, but if it happens, these Chinese companies will skyrocket, and I think people will rotate also when crypto starts to dip into Chinese stocks. Where do you think all the Chinese money went? Why is crypto at all-time highs? And then you had the debacle with the housing in China, the Evergrande scheme or whatever. I don't know exactly what happened, but I do know that China was going through some issues, and that's why we've seen the decline in stocks. On top of that, the tariffs, and who knows with the election, if things are going to get better or things are going to get worse. I'm just kind of hoping for the best. Like I said, China's pretty important. So if we don't have China, I think we have bigger issues. So let's get off into, we're going to watch a little clip on JD. And, I've listened to their conference calls. They sound stand up, legit, professional, solid balance sheet with dividends. I believe they're paying 62 cents a share. But let's look at it here real quick. So this is JD.com. We're sitting right now at about $23.99. I bought it, like I said, a little lower than that. It was at like 21. But, this company probably should be sitting at like $80. If this was fairly valued, in my opinion, this should be an $80 stock. I do know what's wrong, the Communist Party. But let's be honest, something's going to have to give over there in China. Do they want money, or do they want to, kind of be douchebags? It's up to them are they? I don't know. You know what? I take that back. Maybe they're running their country correctly. I can't really say either or. However, if this company was fairly valued, we'd be sitting at $80 with probably a couple dollar dividends. So, I mean, there's quite a bit of room to run. I think at the highs, it was sitting at $93. And it was undervalued then, most likely. I mean, it was about fairly valued then. But like I said, we've been on this massive decline for China. Whatever. But let's hear some positive. They're doing $3 billion in buybacks. Awesome. I mean, that right alone should probably knock them up to $30. But, I mean, what were we sitting at? Like a $30 billion market cap for JD, the competitor to Amazon in China? Whatever. I'm going to buy it. But let's hear what they have to say.
Thursday, Chinese e-commerce giant JD.com beating on earnings and also revenue estimates and announcing a new share buyback of up to $3 billion through the year 2027. It also raised its annual dividend to 76 cents per U.S. listed share.
Oh, 76.
It's up from 62 a year ago.
Okay.
Now, investors liking the news, sending JD stock up 16% in U.S. trade overnight. We'll see how its Hong Kong shares do when the market there opens up at 9:30 sharp Hong Kong, Singapore time. So again, just to recap, it's ADRs at 24.91 last done. Hong Kong listed shares at 89.20 last done. Let's keep talking JD and bring in Xiaolin Chen, head of international at Crane Shares. He
up
joins us live all the way across in London,
pre-market,
where it is closing in on midnight there. So Xiaolin, thank you for staying back so late to talk to us. We appreciate your time. First off, what did you make of JD's earnings?
It's definitely beat expectation in any ways you see, in terms of revenue, net income, EPS, in all aspects. When we look at this report, this announcement, what catch me the most or attention from this report is their buyback. Now they announced another $3 billion of share buyback. Lasts across 36 months, about 3 years' time, up until 2027. Just sincerely shows the company showing a very healthy underlying momentum going on to support the business as one. Second, management of the company seriously think today the level is a very attractive level. They are putting a floor to their price, to their share price at this current level. And lastly, they now start to announcing dividends. Just follow the footsteps.
By the way, I caught every bit of that
16%. A lot of cash over the years. Now they start to pay them back to create more value for the shareholder to hold who hold their stocks.
So, Xiaolin, putting a floor under their shares is how you're describing this, the $3 billion share buyback. And I wouldn't disagree with you there, given the stock is down about 13% so far this year. Last year was down 48%. So the stock has been under considerable pressure. Thing is that whenever a company announces either upping dividends or especially share buybacks, it usually suggests two broad possibilities. One is that the company thinks their own shares are undervalued, and two, they are confident about future cash flow. In JD's case, which do you think it is, or is it both?
Both.
It's a combination of both.
That's right. Tell her.
By their results,
what's
by
her
their
name?
earnings release. One as also a result of their recent announced strategy of cutting price, consolidating the streamline of their business to stay more competitive. It's both. It's literally where they see their current price versus their bonds. The stock markets underperformed versus their own bonds by massive margin. So in those instances, by their announcing such, and obviously $3 billion, you could argue could be more, could be less, but the action is more important than the amount. The announcement from the senior management is more certain where they see the value of the company is today. Clearly, that's going to give investors a lot of confidence with where the company is heading to. Particularly, their revenue exceeded the 1 trillion mark, which I think is very impressive to see, given all the challenges they face. And if you factor in all the macro environments with all the policy announced to say trade-in program, this company will benefit from that trade-in program that's going to be implemented post-NPC.
Yeah, you hear that? I didn't even know all that. I'm going to be honest. I just started a little position. So I'm up like 15% on it, but I only want a little position over there in China. You know, they're hard to trust.
What
the hell is
But did you know we also print that
Must
and that and that And that too. Can't forget about that. Or that either.
Jesus. Computer just acts crazy out of nowhere. But anyway, like I was saying, yes, I've said negative things about China before. I've said negative things about crypto. I've said negative things about Tesla. But out of those, we need the relationship with China, in my opinion. Otherwise, like I said, we're going to be in a world of hurt if we're not working with China in any sort of fashion. And JD, man, JD is the real deal when it comes to companies. It's the competitor to Amazon. At $23? Are you kidding me? I had to buy stocks. I have to buy every week. Everything else is just way too expensive in my opinion. So, I'm just starting to look at some Chinese companies and starting to, dibble and dabble a little bit. I'm going to do a little more in DD and JD, I don't know. I get kind of the concept of everything, and I don't know if they're really lying. But I do know that their numbers, they have to have good numbers. Like I said, they're Amazon. So that's what I'm going with. That's what I started buying. I'm starting to look at Chinese companies. Just giving you a little update of what I have going on. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.